Hi everyone, my name's Anna Marie. Welcome to this card making project. In this project I'm going to be using one of Anna Griffin's ornate frames with a few items from the Rose collection. I'll tell you what I'm using as I go along and I'll put everything in the description box below the video on YouTube. So all you have to do is click the word show more and it'll show you all the details underneath. So I'm starting off with a base card, and I'm just making sure that it's got a good sharp edge along the top using a bone folder so that you get a good crease and it stands up nicely. I'll show you the size of the card. It's the size that is my favourite, and it's a 7x5, and on our cardometer that's what it looks like, just to give you a good idea. So it's not quite as small as the 6x4 or the A6, and it's not as big as the A5. It's just a nice size in between. So as always, I'm going to start by showing you the inside, and the inside on this card is going to be quite ornate, so I think you'll like this one. I'm starting off with a piece of ivory. It's like a cardstock and like a paper. It's something I always use. It's roughly about 100 to 120 GSM, just a little bit heavier than text weight. I've stamped on it in the middle, I don't know if you can see that, and it says the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. I've used an Anna Griffin ink pad to be able to stamp it, and I've already put double-sided tape on the back. Now the one thing I'm going to start off with is, instead of just peeling the back of the tape off, I've actually made 4 corners by using the same process that we've used before to make the embossed corners. It's a video that I did a while ago, I'll put a link below, and it shows you how to make these corners. These are flat ones rather than embossed. So I'm just going to pop all 4 of them into the corners of our paper, and I've already got double-sided tape on the back of these so that it's going to stick to the inside. And there we go, just put the last one on. It's a simple method to make the corners, and it's a great method to be able to add just a little touch of embellishment to any project. Maybe you've got lots of scraps, it's a good way to use your scraps. So those are my 4 corners on the inside, and now I'm just going to peel off the double-sided tape on the back, and then we can place this as our insert into the card. I've also, something else that we're going to add to it, I've used a die for the front, and the waste from the die is something that I've kept, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that. So I'll just place that on the inside of our card like that. There we go, and that sits nicely there. On the front of the card, when we get to it, I've die cut using the beautiful trimmings dies, and I've trimmed one down to fit the front of the card, and I've got a little bit of waste left, these 2 sections, and what I thought it would be really cool to use them on the inside of the card. So I'm just adding a little bit of glue to them, and I'm going to pop them at 2 corners like so, and I'll just do the other one the same, because I just thought it's such a waste that I'm not using them, and they're so pretty. So there we go, we'll just pop the second one in and hold it for a minute. So they just add something a little bit different to the inside, and you can still fold it, you can still get it in your envelope, and it still stands up. So that's the inside of our card created. Moving to the front of the card, the first thing I've done is I've made a layer for the base of the card from one of the papers from the Rose collection. I've already got double-sided tape on the back of it. It's cut to size. I haven't inked the edges or anything on this because I didn't feel it needed it. So we're just going to place this on the front of the card, and there we go, like that. The next thing, using the Anna Griffin gold metallic layers, I've cut out one of the frames. I've left the centre in because I wanted it complete, and I've used the ornate frame die, to be able to do this. Once I've cut it with the die, I always take it back through the machine with the embossing mat to be able to get the extra details. So I've got double-sided foam tape on the back of this, and I'm just going to peel that away. Oops. And then we'll add this through the centre of the card, like that. Such pretty frame dies and very versatile. The next thing I've got is, it's a piece of paper from the Rose collection. I've simply trimmed the shape of it along the edges. I've got double-sided tape on the back, and I've actually cut this to size to fit the actual card. And I'm just going to stick it through the middle of our card so it's across the centre. I've also got a little bit of extra card that I've taken that's the same as the base layer that I'm going to add through the centre of the paper strip we've just added, like so. Next we move to our embossed border and die cut border. Again, I've used the die, I've taken it through the machine, and then once I've done that, I've taken it back through with the extended embossing mat to be able to get the detail on the die cut. I've trimmed it to size. You've already seen what I did with the waist, and I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on the back just so it holds in place. Now, I've been asked about where you add the glue on a fancy die cut. So if I can just show you, on the back of this you've got bigger sections in some places than others. Now, depending on what kind of glue you use and the fineness of the tip on it, you'll find that sometimes there's lots of easy places to add your glue, or sometimes you might struggle. So the finer the tip on your glue, you'll be able to add to the smaller sections. If not, think about where you're going to cover it up. If there's any places that you're putting something over the top of it, i.e. for me, I could add lots of glue in the centre because I've got something going over that. But luckily on this, there's some larger pieces that I can add the glue to. So I'm going to now add the border through the centre of the card, like that. Now, I wanted it flat, I didn't want to put it on 3D foam, just for a change, because there's a lot going on with this card, and we've already got some height with the frame. The next thing I've got is, I've cut another layer, and I've used the dies from the inside of the frame to be able to cut this layer, and I've put it on 3D foam, and this is going to sit on the centre of our card. And we'll just peel the foam away, and I'm simply going to position it in the middle of our card. I think that's roughly about there. And then I've taken one of the die cuts in the embellishment packs from the Rose collection, and I've simply matted it onto another layer of the gold card in the smaller die from the die collection for the frames, and I've got 3D foam already on the back of this, and I'm simply going to position this over the layer that we've just added. So we've got a lot of depth there now already without even adding the border on 3D foam. The last thing I've got to add is a little bow. Now I'm not adding flowers to this because I thought we'll go for something a little bit plainer, something that would do for the men in your life as well. So we'll just add the bow to the top there, and that is our card finished. And I'm sure you'll agree that that's such a pretty card, inside and out, ideal for lots of different occasions. Obviously I've chosen the Bravo, the well done one, but it could soon be adapted for a wedding card or a birthday card, anything like that. So I'd like to thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give me the thumbs up. Be sure to comment because I love hearing from you and I love hearing what you think and if you've enjoyed it. And feel free to watch the rest of my videos. I've got so many available now, and it just leaves me to say thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.